how to make a bunch of money.
How to make a lot of money. Maximize your returns on property investments.
How to multiply by 2 or 3x your investments. We identified a pattern. If you want to really fine-tune where to invest next, don't be a sheep, don't do like everyone else. If everyone is doing something, there's a better way to do it. So, not a financial advice, but if there is any advice to give, this is it.
Bali Business Club, we're back today with Omri.
Hey Gawain, how are you?
Nice to be back in our office.
Yeah. This is actually our office. People don't know that, but whenever you see that smart board, this is where we work every day.
And today we're talking about how to 2.3 to 3.1x your returns in Bali property market.
How to make a bunch of money.
How to make a lot of money
in 2-3 years. Yeah, basically that's it. Yeah. So
let's go. Yeah, so we're back. Omri, man who knows how these things work. Yeah, for those who don't know, I suppose this is a bit of a history of the Peran and Batu Belong development, going up the west coast of Bali, and then how you maximize your returns on property investment.
All right, thanks Gawain. So guys, before we get into that, quick disclaimer. This is not a financial advice. I think we should say that every podcast. Sure. So I'm doing the disclaimers now for all the podcasts. None of them are financial advices. Yeah. Secondly, because we are directly involved in the real estate market ourselves, I just want to quickly make everyone understand how this can be some sort of conflict of interest. So I'm Omri. I'm the CEO of Kosong Satu Group. I've been in Bali for 30 years. And under Kosong Satu Group, we have a few different brands, about 20 plus brands. Some of them in the media industry, some of them in business services, some of them in retail, and some of them in real estate. In the real estate is related to this. We have the Kedungu Fund, which is a real estate investment fund. If you're interested in that, there are other podcasts, and we can put some links down there. Yeah. Or you can go on thekedungufund.com if you want to invest money in Indonesia without the hassle of going through all the problems and potential risks of investing. And then we have Kedungu Real Estate, which is the only real estate agency in Kedungu at the moment. Sure, there will be some in the future. Sure. But so whatever we say here is we're talking from experience, we're talking from our own experience, and it's again not in any way shape or form financial advice. This is what we do, and we're just sharing with you guys what we do and how we think we can multiply.
How we can all make good returns in the next 5 years.
So basically what this is about how to multiply by 2 or 3x your investments in a span of 3 years-ish. Yeah? More or less.
3 to 4, yeah.
3 to 4 years, more or less, yeah. Again, we don't have a crystal ball, so this is we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Those things might change. This is why it's dotted and not a plain line. In other areas, we invested in Peran, for example, and we believe this area we're going to talk about here, Kedungu, has a similar pattern than Peran or Batu Belong before, and is based also on what happened in the last 2-3 years in this region of Kedungu, which we are going to talk about now. So basically in Bali, what we've noticed over the course of the last 15 years we've been doing real estate here, we identified a pattern that explains how a region goes from completely void of any tourist development to fully developed. So if you take, for example, a region like Peran, when we moved here 6 years ago, it was a giant rice field with a few local houses, basically. There was nothing. We are the first foreigners to set up shop, or one of the first to set up shop in here, yeah? And I mean, I always make the joke, but basically when you would see a foreigner in the street, you would say hello. Now if you say hello to a foreigner in the street, they think what do you want? So Peran is a very good example because it's the newest development here that followed that pattern. But basically it takes 5 years-ish, yeah, to go from nothing. So this is when we arrived to like overdeveloped. Well, it's not overdeveloped, but very developed like it is now. So if you look at Perenan, for instance,
Maybe just explain also like how this works up the West Coast. So you've got like from Kuta back.
I'm getting to that, my friend. But so Perenan, it started in around like 2018, more or less here. And now we are in 2025, which is, perfect. I hadn't reviewed that graph before we started. It's perfect. It works. So that's 5 years. Of course, there was the COVID period, which slowed down a little bit. It plateaued a little bit, the land price evolution. But it never went down. It never went that way. Yeah. To get to what you just asked me to do, how does evolution of tourist spots happen in Bali? And I forgot to mention it now because we've said it multiple times. Basically, you have to understand, if you want to understand how this works, you have to understand 3 main points. First, government is pushing for more and more tourists every year because this is obviously more foreign currency coming into the country, and it's make the GDP grow and everything, and business grow.
And they're succeeding. I mean,
completely.
2024 highest ever. 2025
highest ever. It's always highest ever.
Yeah.
Every year is highest ever. I think that year. We have thanks, Gawain.
That year.
Back in a sec. Good job. Professional.
Oops.
All right. 2024, I think it was 6.5 million foreign tourists and 22 million local tourists, something like that. Yeah. The year before was almost 1 million less, and next year expecting 7 million. Yeah. So always more and more tourists. So that's the first point. Remember, the golden rule. We did a podcast on that. The golden rule. There are 3 golden rules. Yeah.
I think we've got one.
Sorry?
I think we've got one.
Yeah, we did one.
Oh, yeah,
we did one.
Link
below. Link below, yeah. So golden rule number 1, always more tourists because government is pushing, yeah? And because there's more people, you have to put these people somewhere. So they need villas, apartments, hotels,
shops,
restaurants, shops, massage spa, whatever, you name it.
And also a percentage of those tourists will always stay. So, you get so many tourists, they'll stay as expats. Higher percentage.
I mean,
it stimulates.
It's not only a tourist. Yeah. It's a tourist plus expat. Yeah? Because the more tourists, the more expat.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah? The second rule is the coconut tree law. So there's a funny law in Bali. It's not in Indonesia. It's Bali, called the coconut tree law, which forbids any developers, any building to be higher than 15 meters. This dates from 1966 when Tommy Suharto built his hotel in Sanur.
It's still there, isn't it?
It's still there, yeah. Sanur Resort something, the big 10-story or 12-story building on the beach, yeah. And Balinese people were like, oh, what's happening? And they created that law, that rule that forbid to build above 50 meters. Because you have that rule, and you can't build upward, so you have more tourists to, lodge somewhere. You cannot build high buildings and such. So
no high rise.
No high rise. Forbidden in Bali. There's not one. Yeah, it's basically 4 levels max. Yeah? So ground floor and 3 levels up. Yeah. So because of that, mechanically it's expand horizontally. Yeah. So if you want to fine tune that, you just look at the map and you have the coast. You can see it going westward from Kuta towards Canggu, Perenan, Kedungu, and so on and so forth. And it won't stop. As long as there's more people find, hotels and such, it won't stop. It will keep expanding regardless of what, people say and trying to preserve what Bali is. And it's another debate, but always made me laugh how people are pointing the finger at the bad bule developers, foreigner developers, when actually government is pushing for more tourists. So the government is elected by locals. Yeah? So it's not the foreigners. It's not. It's everyone. It's locals and foreigners. Yeah? Anyway, as another debate. Personal opinion. There's a lot of things to say about that.
Go in that rabbit hole.
Yeah. And so 1, more development by government. 2, number 2 rules. Second rule is the coconut tree law. And third rule is if you want to really fine tune where to invest next, and how it explains that development, that rapid development westward, is the surf spot. So you basically take the coast, and again we can put that little map here. If you look at the map, it goes from surf spot to surf spot, and those are the places. Whenever you have a surf break, this will develop before anything else. So, like for example, Kuta, Seminyak, Brawa, Batu Bolong, Perenan. Those are the breaks we currently know that have developed super fast, yeah. And then there's nothing until Kedungu. So after Perenan, you have Sese, Chemagi, Niani, Tanalot, and then Kedungu, yeah. And all of those names that I just mentioned, they don't have surf at all, yeah. So the next surf spot is Kedungu, which is explaining why it's developing. It's going to develop so fast now. All right, so that was a very, very long introduction. Let's dive into some numbers and what to do with your money if you have some capital you want to invest somewhere. In our opinion, and this is what I do, so I always tell people, look at what I'm doing and copy trade me, so to speak. So this would be, in our opinion, something that could be interesting for you guys if you want to invest some money in Bali. Another disclaimer very quick, there are other areas in Bali that are good for investment as well. I won't name them here, but there are a few. I'm not saying this is the only thing. For me, this is the one that makes the most sense because it's the one that's the most obvious. Let's go into some detailed data and how it works exactly. Yeah. So we just we mentioned before that there's a pattern and it's following the same pattern. Yeah. So Batu Bolong 5 years, Perenan 5 years, and then Kedungu is next. So that's going to be around 5 years as well. Yeah. Right now we are more or less halfway, or let's say in the first. Well, we are entering the third year, let's say, of developments. When we came into Kedungu, when we started, was around here. And I remember land back then was around 5 million rupiah per ara. So 5 million rupiah, I'm going to talk in millions of rupiah here because this is easier for everyone to understand. I mean, everyone that knows a little bit about the Bali market. We are going to talk about in rupiah, and we're going to talk about leasehold. I'm not going to go into what is different between leasehold and freehold. I assume people know that. If not,
there's another link.
There's another link somewhere, or just look in the videos. And just so you understand, so quick one, in Bali, Indonesia, we count the number of aras. An ara is 100 square meters. And this is the metric we use in Bali to count the size of a land. So if you go to someone's house, you go, nice house, and how many ara is your house? Right. So it's 7 ara. And then on this land is 10 ara, and this one is 1 ara. So 1 ara is 100 square meters, yeah? Okay, so this is the price. Any prices that we mention here is for 1 ara. 1 million rupiah is about 60 USD. 60 to 65 USD depends on the FX, yeah, on the exchange rate. So 10 million rupiah is 600 to 650 USD. Okay, so when we moved into Kedungu and we started business there and acquiring land with, first was me, personal, and then we created the Kedungu fund and we started buying land. Land was at around 5 million rupiah, yeah, 5 million rupiah. Per ara, yeah. Per year. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry.
But per year is important.
Yeah, we count the land per ara and we count the land price on a per ara per year basis. Yeah. So when you buy, I'm not gonna explain how everything works. There's another podcast about leasehold extension, about leasehold versus freehold, where we explain all this. Yeah, we assume you guys know this. Yeah. So back then, the price was 5 million ara, yeah? Today, and that was the lowest, the low range, yeah? Was between 4 million to 7 million, yeah? Maybe 4 to 7, I'm gonna put, boom. Today, the price is on average around 15-ish million per year, yeah? So 15-ish, yeah? The range is 11 to 19. How do we know that? Because we have Kedungu Real Estate, which is the only real estate agency in the area. We have about 100, I asked them last time, I think 150 or 180 properties. So we make averages every month and, data and to see like the price evolution. So, well, it's too bad I didn't ask before the podcast, but remember last month was around 15 million, yeah? So basically, the evolution from here to here is 3x. So if you're lucky enough to have invested in Kedungu back two and a half years ago, and you sell your asset today, if you are within the average and in that range, whatever, if you didn't get ripped off in the first place back then, you would probably 3x your investment, which is insane.
Fabulous.
It's crazy,
That amount of time, 2 years.
That's insane, yeah. So let's say 2.5 to 3x, yeah. Now, today, the price is 15, right? If Kedungu follows the pattern, and it will, of Ben-Canaan and Batu Bolong and other one before that, it will probably arrive in that price range around 2028, 2029, which means around 35 million, from 35 million to 45 million. Okay? Right now in Ben-Canaan, for instance, this is the price. I even have a friend, even more than that. Yeah. My friend just bought an extension at 60 million. Yeah, which is, I found a little bit crazy. If you're watching this, you know. So if you take that range into account, from 11 to 35 and from 19 to 45, why there's a range? 90 million is more towards the beach, so every land that's close to the beach is always more expensive.
Or commercial. Right.
No, not commercial. This is always, I should have said that before. Sorry guys, this is only about residential. Commercial is I can talk about the commercial after. It's just location, right? So 19 million is like super well located, super close to the beach. This is the 19 million end of the range, yeah? 11 million is a little bit more inland, less well located, but that's debatable as well. I personally don't buy near the beach, and we've done a podcast on that. But so I always buy those 11 million land because I like the multiplier better. And you'll understand why in a second. So if you take the 19 million figure and you go to 45 million, that's 2.3x here, yeah? So 2.3x, which is amazing. It's great money. I mean, there's no doubt that you won't make that in your country. You're from Cape Town, I'm from Paris. There's no way you can double your money in any deal. It's probably illegal.
Yeah.
Tax office will be like sleeping in your house, man, So those multipliers are just completely insane, and this is the kind of money you can make in Bali. Not everywhere, not in Seminyak anymore, not in Canggu anymore, but in Kedungu you can, yeah? If you're fast enough, if time is of the essence here. So,
and that's the key, location, because a lot of people like to buy here.
Yeah, everybody does what everybody does.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They come to Indonesia and they come to Bali on holiday and they rent a house in Canggu and they say, yeah, cool, me too, I want a house, and they buy the land next door at 35 million. And what are you going to do with it? Yeah, you can do a bit of passive income if you have an Airbnb or something. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying there are better ideas. Don't be a sheep. Don't do like everyone else. Think outside the box and do your own research. There are things. If everyone is doing something, there's a better way to do it. That's it's good for any business, any industry, and any topic in the world. Yeah. Okay, so back to that. 90 million will become 45 million at 2.3x. If you take the 11 million, if you buy at 11 million today, it will go to 35 million in the matter of like 3, max 4 years, yeah? Same as the other range, yeah? And that's 3.1x. So that's tripling your money. So if you came here and you sell here, you can do like 6, 7x. It's crazy. You have to understand that. You have to understand how it works, and then you replicate the next land. It'll be like 3, 4 years. You buy. That's Yegonga. You know. Here, hint. Yegonga. Good information. I hope you're buying some land there, my friend. I'm not yet, but soon I will. No, it's too early, guys. Too early. Don't buy Yegonga today. Too early. Better to buy in Kedungu, sell, and buy in Uganda in a couple of years.
I had a friend actually bought at 3.5 in Uganda.
Yeah.
It's still cheap.
Yeah? But it's too much here.
Yeah.
So we don't know when it's gonna pick up exactly. Yeah. I never buy at 3 million. 3 million is like everywhere in Bali, it's 3 million to start with, yeah? I always buy, once it go from 3 to 4 to 5, this is for me the trigger. This is where I invest, yeah? Okay, back to this. 3.1x, yeah? This is, of course, again, we don't have a crystal ball, and it might not be 3.1, it might be better, I don't know, or it might be a bit less, but I can guarantee that you can't lose. It's an impossibility. It's inevitable. It will grow because it is growing every day, every month it's growing, you know. Not a financial advice, but if there is any advice to give, this is it. Buy today in Kedungu anywhere between 11 million and 19 million, and sell in 3-4 years when the market is optimal, when the market is already saturated and high, when everyone is searching for land there. And this is how you make money. I've done this for the last 15 years. I don't understand why people don't understand. I've not understand this before. This is beyond me.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's everybody buying here is just crazy. So let's avoid doing that.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So this is residential. Yeah. Now a quick one on commercial land, but don't get the numbers are even crazier than this. But then don't get your hopes too high because it's extremely difficult to find a commercial land in Kedungu today. With the funds, we acquired a lot of commercial land back then. So we locked most of the available land, and we're lucky enough to own the real estate agency. So whenever there's one available, we grab it before everyone. So I mean, sorry guys.
With commercial land, it more or less starts at the same price. It just goes.
It goes. So, for example, let's take Per-Enan. Yeah, Per-Enan today, commercial land will probably. I'm going to go back to white. So, what is commercial land? Commercial land is high street retail land. So, land on the main street. Yeah. So, for Per-Enan, it's from the beach to a couple of kilometers up to the Jan Raya Canggu. Yeah. Same thing for Batu Bolong, from the beach to the Pepito, probably. Yeah. In Per-Enan today, this price here, if it was commercial land, would be around 70 to 80 million per ARA per year. Okay? So if you bought land when you was here at maybe like 5-7 million, I mean you 10x your money. Yeah. In Kedungu, what I did when I started to invest back in 2022, I only bought commercial land. Back then, there were a few available. So I bought 2 large plots. Mm-hmm. I have some residential land now as well, but I focused on commercial land because I knew the multiplier is much higher. I bought my plots. The first plot I bought was at 7.9 million, and that's the plot that is on the right side of the stables, Salty Cowboy, on the main street. And then I bought, I say bought, I didn't buy, I leased, okay, just for clarity, yeah? I don't want to get sued by the government saying I purchased land in Indonesia, being a foreigner. I leased, yeah? My mistake. So I leased that plot, and the other plots that I leased was the one where our good friends from Little Ripper are, next to it after the gang, south of Little Ripper. in front of TMC Cafe, yeah? TMO, sorry. And that plot I leased at, I think 9 million or 9.5. Right now, on the main street, I've had people offering me plots at 30 million. 30. So that's, yeah. So that, like, the price on the main street is slowly getting now the price of residential in 3 years. That's how fast it goes. Because there's a scarcity of land. So what is rare is expensive.
Land. Yeah, high value.
Exactly. So that's the price in Perenan. In Batu Bolong, I would think it's around 110, 120 million. If you find it, you won't find it. I mean, it's already super hard to find today high street retail land in Kedungu. Imagine in Perenan. I mean, nobody wants to sell.
Impossible.
Nobody. Why would you sell your land on the main street in one of these busy areas? It's a cash cow.
There's no land on the main. It's just restaurants, bars, cafes.
Yeah, you can see a couple, but usually it belongs to like rich corporation in Jakarta or somewhere. Yeah, but no one. I mean, no local family that own a plot on the main street would be crazy enough to sell. That's it's a cash machine. Whatever you do, I mean, you open a little toko, a little shop, ridiculous shop that costs you nothing to build, and you rent it out for crazy money. You make. I mean, it's it's a great business. Well, that's it. Any question, my friend? Anything I forgot? What do you think?
No, I think you covered it off.
Yeah.
Long enough. Touched on everything.
No financial advice, but this is what we do, okay? And this is what we are known for. You won't cut me dead buying a plot in Perenan or Canggu today. It doesn't make sense, I don't want to be part of the sheep pack, yeah? I want to be part of the guys that understand how real estate actually work and be ahead of the pack, ahead of everyone. And this is how you invest little money, you make a lot of money, you reinvest, and so on and so forth. Yeah?
Well, this is what the Kedungu Fund does.
This is exactly the core thesis of the Kedungu Fund is land banking, so buying plots around. Basically, I mean, until here, it's good to buy. To lease, sorry. It's good to acquire, okay? My opinion. When we reach around these prices here, which will be, sorry, the graph is not very, very accurate, should be like around 2027. This is when it's a good time not to liquidate, but to hold until here and to start acquiring in Yeganga and maybe Kelating. Yeah, Kelating is a little early. Yeah, so this is what the fund does. The fund does exactly this. So we spread our risk on multiple assets because we have a lot of plots, yeah. And we develop as well. So we're developing an international school. We have a shopping plaza in the works, so a bunch of other things, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, if you want to find more about the fund, also we've got a FAQ, which is really informative.
Yeah.
So in the link also.
All right, cool. Thank you, everyone. Feel free to ask any question you have in the comments. As you guys know, we always try to answer, except on the last one. I took a bit of time to answer. Sorry about that. But we usually answer within 1 to 3 days. So if you have any more questions about that, I'm very, very happy to engage with you guys and answer your questions in the comments. If you want to meet us, we always open for coffee. Our office is in Perenan. I mean, we always have people coming for coffees here. So well, we welcome meeting new people and investors. Happy to have a chat and see you on the next podcast.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.